Welcome back guys to another one. Today let's have a look at a very cute case from Silverstone that promises a lot of airflow out of the box and some nice bling to it, as you can see. So yeah, let's build in it. Silverstone is highly known in the case world and this FARA range has plenty of variation. Today we are looking at the R1 PRO, which offers a front metal mesh under the front shell and the inclusion of 4 ARGB 120mm fans. Not everybody is after a full tower case, so if you just need a mainstream case with plenty of airflow out of the box and some eye candy, this sounds like the enclosure for you. You can have it in either white or black for around 90 bucks, or even cheaper if you want it without the fans. It comes shipped in your standard brown box with a minimal outline on the front, while the specs are presented on the sides. Regarding protection, this is taken care of by these two styrofoam spacers. Regarding the included accessories, the main item is the custom ARGB 4-way SATA power splitter. This already comes with the Silverstone triple fan bundle, but I was hoping to see a full splitter, as in one that powers the fans and the ARGB at the same time. More on this later. A cool trick is that you can attach the plug from the front reset button into the RGB controller if you want to be able to toggle through the lighting modes. The case has a clean overall look with straight edges, nothing too dramatic. The design philosophy is a safe one and it's pretty much what a modern mainstream case looks like. Zooming in on the front AIO ports, we have from top to bottom the power button, a reset one, activity LED, two USB 3.0 with the U3 mark next to them, one USB 2.0 and one audio 3.5mm jack. As you can see, the front panel is made of plastic and it's reinforced underneath with some metal. Checking the underside, we notice a removable dust filter for the PSU area. On the top we have a removable magnetic dust filter across the whole exhaust area. Regarding AIOs, the best you can do here is a 240mm since the frame is shorter than a classic mid-tower case. Also doing this will limit RAM to just 35mm in height. The 3mm thick side tempered glass is held into place via 4 thumb screws, which is still an old school method since most manufacturers now have the glass integrated in a side panel with a faster quick release method. On the rear end we have the standard 4 PCIe slots, from which 2 are modular and 5 are the breakout type, and above these we have the spot from the exhaust 120mm fan. A nice touch are the pre-drilled placement holes to fine adjust the position of the fan. Removing the front panel, we expose the front mesh and 3 out of the 4 included ARGB 120mm fans. The overall metal construction is okay, nothing too premium, but it does the job. Inside the main chamber, the case will accept up to a standard ATX size motherboard, a CPU heatsink up to 165mm tall and a GPU up to 322mm long, even with the front fans in place. The PSU area has a separate chamber that is fully covered with 2 removable slots for 2.5-inch drives on top of it. The fourth 120mm ARGB fan is set as an exhaust at the rear. Speaking of the fans, the case will further accept either 2 120 or 140mm up top and 2 140 or 3 120mm up front. This means you can do a 280 AIO in the front or a 240mm up top. All of the included 120mm RGB fans have an unsleeved 3-pin power connector and a 5V RGB plug. The rear metal side panel is held into place via regular thumb screws and you get around 20mm of wire management space around the panels and 25mm from the PSU. You also get a generous motherboard cutout to easily install the backplate of CPU coolers without taking out the board. Just below it, it offers another 2.5-inch mounting tray with the options for a fourth one next to it. Then on the left there are 6 routing cutouts for the wire management. You can even install another set of 2.5-inch drives over this area, but this will mean that you will block these routing holes. Finally, the PSU chamber will accommodate a standard 160mm long power supply, but if you remove the hard drive cage, then you can pretty much install whatever you want. The hard drive cage will accept a 3.5-inch drive inside the rail and another 2.5-inch one on top of it. Regarding the front I/O connectivity, these are the ports, all in matching black. Now it's Lego time. After the installation of the motherboard, which uses the classic standoff system, then the PSU goes in. It's a snug fit, but the unit had 4 rubber pads to comfortably rest on. Solving this spaghetti junction is done in part by the included RGB hub for the fans, and the rest by patience in routing everything and making sure you use zip ties to secure the cables in order to close the side panel. Alas, the case offers a decent amount of zip ties hooks in strategic places. Of course, this process is further simplified if you possess a modular PSU, but for this review I specifically went for one with fixed cables just to fully test the wire managed capability of the case. As you can see, there is plenty of legroom to hide the bulk of the wires in that space between the hard drive cage and the PSU. Then the CPU 8-pin has plenty of space to reach its motherboard port due to this generous cutout. The front connectivity has no problem reaching the designated locations, as you can see. Also notice that I have attached the case's fans to the motherboard directly. This is where, if your motherboard lacks that many ports, the integrated hub would have been critical. The CPU cooler was a breeze since you get total access to the backplate. Then the 24-pin and GPU cables were routed from the side, and as you can see there is no clearance issues even with such a beefy GPU. The RGB does a great job to illuminate and attract your attention even during daytime. Alas, the brightness for the front AIO power button and activity LED are kinda weak. But when darkness arrives, this is when the case shines visually the most. Of course, if you want this level of bling. Testing time. Let's inspect the CPU temp in an overclock scenario for extra perspective. I left the CPU fan curve on auto RPM with a side panel attached, and the case fans will be tested at 30, 50 and 100% RPM points. As you can see, this is already too much voltage for the stock AMD cooler, but the case, even with its compact footprint, will provide ample of airflow for day-to-day usage, where most builders with a stock CPU cooler will never overclock in the first place. Then in the GPU department, we see the delta variation between the RPM spots increasing, since the GPU is getting such a direct and close airflow from the case's fans. Regarding the noise test, realistically most people will keep the settings at 30 or 50% RPM for the fans, hence why I haven't included the 100% spot, because no matter what the components do in the case, their sound will be overridden by the case's fans, which is around 50 decibels. Thus at 30 and 50% RPM with a recording spot between 20-30 cm away, the overall noise output is decent. Also, here is a quick audio sample. So there you have it, guys. This is a very interesting proposition, since most buyers either go really big or really small in terms of overall footprint. This is exactly my situation, where I have the Dan A4 SFX build on one hand and then the Be Quiet HANGAR full tower case on the other. However, the FARA R1 PRO is quite compact for an ATX format, and it's for those that want some bling with their build without breaking the bank nor the desk if space is limited. Storage-wise, it offers a decent amount of dry support and even AIO cooling. For example, you can install a long GPU that has a 120mm AIO that can go at the rear of the case, and then even do a 240-280mm AIO for the CPU. Of course, there are some drawbacks with this shorter design, as in no 280mm AIO topside support and entry-level frame quality, since most of the asking price consists of the supplied ARGB fans and the side tempered glass. Also, on the next iteration, I think they should offer a complete fan and RGB fan combo controller that will solve a lot of headaches with the wire management. Thank you for watching, guys, and feel free to leave a comment and click on any of the famous buttons like the subscribe, like one, etc. And see you in the next one. Alex out. Today let's have a look at a very cute case like